What's up, everybody? I'm back. Now, I've been gone for about a month. There's so much that I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about, including everything that came out of San Diego Comic-Con, the trailers, the upcoming films, the costumes, and just so much more. It just feels so good to finally be able to say after about a month, let's get started. Zoom, zap, bam, pow.
He likes to talk. He's a geek. He's an author and he likes to eat. He loves superheroes and sci-fi things, and he usually says what everyone else is thinking. He gives you his opinion and he doesn't hold back. He tells you if a show or movie is whack. On occasion he'll give some people honest advice, and he hopes that what he says is always right. His name is Terrell, in case you don't know, and you're watching the Super Sci-Fi Show!
If you don't know what this is, let me tell you. This right here is a very hard to find yellow watermelon. I've been searching for 7 years and I finally found it on July 18th. So I've just been buying a lot of this since while they're in season before they disappear. If you've been watching the show long enough, and if you know me, you know I always have watermelon. I always eat me some watermelon or drink some watermelon juice during my videos. And please forgive me if I'm sweating. It's really, really hot down here. It's been so hot in LA. I mean, it's August, but even down here in my friend's basement, where it's usually cool, it's really hot. For those of you who don't know who I am, welcome to the Super Sci-Fi Show, to another episode of the Super Sci-Fi Show. I'm your host, Terrell Aaron Kloss, and before we get into the show, and before we get into the nerd news and entertainment reviews, I want to say rest in peace to a legendary artist who is the co-creator of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about the legendary, the iconic Mr. Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko, as I said, he and Stan Lee, they both created Spider-Man and my favorite Sorcerer Supreme, the master of the mystic arts, Dr. Stephen Strange. And Stan Lee, as you know, is pretty out there. He's like the face of Marvel. He's the godfather of superheroes. But Steve Ditko was the exact opposite. He wasn't really a recluse. Well, maybe. I heard that he was, but then again, I heard that he wasn't too, so I don't really know because I didn't know him. But he never really did interviews. And on June 29th, he was found dead in his apartment, in his New York City apartment. The cause of death was said to be hypertensive cardiovascular disease. But he was 90 years old, he lived a very long life, and he gave us two awesome characters that are now in the MCU and who we just love so much, and I can't wait to see the sequels for these two characters, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man's movies. So thank you very much, Steve Ditko, for all that you gave to us geeks and to the world. You know, you might be gone, but your work will live on forever. You know, Whitney Houston, I remember hearing her quote somebody else one time when she said, we all die, but the goal shouldn't be to live forever. The goal should be to create something that will. And that's what Steve Ditko did with his art and with the characters that he created. So again, thank you, Steve Ditko, for all that you've done for the world. And by the power of the Vishanti, may your work just be appreciated by millions and millions of people for generations to come. So now, with that said, it is now time for the nerd news and entertainment reviews. Alright, so San Diego Comic-Con. Let's talk about all the trailers, all the news, everything. We'll talk about the costumes later. But let's get to all the trailers. There are so many trailers coming out of Comic-Con this year that I couldn't even keep up. Some of my friends had to text me and say, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And I'm like, no, how did I miss it? Like, how in the world did I miss it? but it's because they were throwing so much at us this year. I mean, it's such a great time to be a geek slash nerd, and if you're black, then you're blurred. It's just such a great time to be into all this stuff because we have so much stuff to watch and to just dive into. So first trailer that I want to talk to you guys about is Aquaman. Now, I've come to really like Jason Momoa as King Arthur, or Arthur Curry. I don't think he's king yet in this film, definitely not. But I think he's vying for the throne because Patrick Wilson, who plays Arthur's half-brother Orm, he apparently is the king, or he's trying to be the king. He's trying to kill Arthur or start a war with surface dwellers in order to, just take over everything and just rule. But Arthur is being trained in the trailer. It looks like Arthur's being trained by somebody so that he can take over the throne one day. And then Mera comes in and helps him, and she looks amazing. She almost looks like Ariel from, almost said from Under the Sea. Ariel from The Little Mermaid. She'd be a great Ariel too, actually. It'll be kind of funny. She's Mera, and then she goes to be Ariel. But anyway, her wig looks good on some parts, but on other parts, not so much. But I really love both of these guys in the roles that they're playing, and I really like Nicole Kidman as Arthur's mom too. I didn't know how I feel about that, but I really like her. I really love Nicole Kidman, period, ever since Batman Forever. Remember that? But anywho, the trailer looks good. I just don't like I love the set. The set reminds me of Pandora from Avatar, and something about it also reminds me of Wakanda. I don't know what it is, but maybe because it just looks like it's giving you this whole new world that you just never saw before, and it feels very realistic, like it really exists, beyond the CGI. Like it's like James Wan is the director, and he's done an amazing job on this film, and on a lot of other films that I love. Excuse me. I'm really excited about Aquaman, and I never thought I would be, actually. But it looks like, in a previous video I asked, will Aquaman save the DCEU from drowning? And it looks like he probably will. And Wonder Woman will help keep the DCEU up above water, too, when her movie comes out in November of 2019. But this year in December, Aquaman comes out, and it's been getting rave reviews from the trailer and everything. But I don't like the last part of the trailer when Jason Momoa when Arthur and Mera jumped out of the airplane. I'm like, they can't fly. How are they gonna land? It's very weird. But anyways, I'm looking forward to that this December to see King Arthur, the other King Arthur. Anyways, and also another trailer that came out from the DCEU is Shazam with Zachary Levi. Now I've always liked Zachary Levi for more reasons than one, And I'd like him in this role, but I just don't like this movie. It just looks very stupid, like stupid funny, you know what I mean? He's wearing this muscle suit, and although it looks like they're staying true to the comics and to the characters, it just doesn't look like anything that I want to see. I mean, I really didn't think that there'd be a movie out there that looks worse than Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, but here it is now. But if my friend Steve, he and I talk about all this stuff, if he likes the film, or if he has good things to say about it, I might check it out, but I'm not going to pay for it. I may get a movie pass too soon, because I'm going to be seeing a lot of movies this year, so I may just get a movie pass like my friend Wilson has been telling me to for ages, it seems. So, but Shazam, it looks very stupid, but I mean, again, it's staying true to the story from what it seems, so I guess it's on the right track. I don't know. What do you guys think? Will you guys go see it or not? Because again, I'm not sure if I will. I'm gonna wait to see what Steve has to say about it. Now, another trailer that came out that Steve and I were talking about was the second trailer for Venom. Now, the first trailer for the Venom film, which I didn't really want to see, but I was thinking about seeing, that first trailer, it was really good. I liked it. It kind of threw me off a bit how it didn't seem like they had anything to do with Spider-Man, but I was okay with it, whatever. I still was leaning more towards going to see it than not going to see it. And I love Tom Hardy. But this second trailer, it just made him look more like a crybaby. And it seemed like every scene that I saw him in, he was doing all this. I'm like, why do you look like you're constipated in every scene? And speaking of that, in some of the other scenes where he was doing all this, it was full of CGI, and I was like, what the Steppenwolf from Justice League is going on here? The CGI looked horrible. maybe it wasn't fully rendered, but I feel like if we're going before you release a trailer for anything, especially something that's that no one, especially for a movie that no one really asked for, you should fully render everything. Just word to the wise, DCEU, Warner Brothers, or Sony. I'm sorry, Sony. But the second trailer looks really bad. I'm really not gonna go see this movie. And I really wanted it to do well, but Tom Hardy was telling dumb jokes. He just seems like a crybaby. He looks like he's on drugs, and I know he was possessed, so he's sweating and his body is trying to fight the symbionts and everything, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like anything I want to see. Are you guys gonna go see it? And do you even want this movie to have been made? Like, did you guys ask for this movie? Because I didn't. I really wanted to see Venom be in one of the Spider-Man Homecoming sequels. Speaking of that, as a side note, the logo for the new Spider-Man Homecoming sequel just came out. And it was rumored, the title of the sequel was rumored to be called Spider-Man Far From Home, but now it's official with the logo out and everything. So it's really called Spider-Man Far From Home. He's really going to be off in London somewhere, and he's going to fight Mysterio. And we better see the fishbowl. I have to see the fishbowl on Jake Gyllenhaal's head, or whoever plays Mysterio. It just has to look really good and not stupid and campy, because it can easily look campy. The CGI needs to be on point for Mysterio, that goes without saying. And I just hope it's a fun movie, and that Spider-Man in this film is like how he was in Civil War. He was just epic. In Spider-Man Homecoming, he was more clumsy. It was like, it almost seemed like the movie that should have come before Civil War. But in the storyline, the story in Homecoming actually started 2 weeks after the events of Civil War. So I was like, what's going on? Anyway, hopefully in Far From Home, again, Spider-Man is really on point, like how he was in Civil War. He was everything in Civil War, everything. So yeah, I'm not gonna go see Venom. God, I can't with it. But a show that I'm just really excited for, it's gonna be the second season of the show. It is The Gifted. Now that trailer looks outstanding. The people over at Sony need to take notes from the people over at Fox/Marvel Television, because The Gifted looks freaking just spectacular. The CGI is on point, the storyline is progressed. I mean, they really put some money into this show, and rightfully so, because the first season was extraordinary. It was a really great X-Men show, and it really just made me fall in love with these characters who I didn't really know much about. Some of the characters are from the comics, others are kind of new, but the second season of The Gifted comes out this fall, probably in October, I think. But check out the trailer if you haven't. It is really something. Like, I'm just like, it looks like they already filmed the whole season too, based off of the trailer. Polaris is pregnant, and the baby probably has all kinds of superpowers, like crazy superpowers and whatnot. So I'm really excited for The Gifted season 2. Are you? Now, a trailer that I really wanted to be excited about, that I was kind of let down on, I was let down when I watched it. It was Godzilla, the King of Monsters. Now, I love Godzilla, and he is the King of Monsters, but the trailer just fell flat to me. I mean, it looked beautiful, the cinematography looked really great, but it just felt like this, I don't know. It just felt very, I don't know, it wasn't really memorable. I just remember seeing Set 11 from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. I'm like, why is she in this? Like now I'm gonna feel like I'm watching a Stranger Things film with another huge monster from beyond, and Millie Bobby Brown saving the day or making it to the end. Now, the last trailer that I want to talk to you guys about is one that I'm really, really excited for, because I saw both of the movies that led up to this film. Now, I'm talking about the movies Unbreakable and the movie Split. Now, Split was about James McAvoy's character, the Beast, having multiple personality disorder, and he evolved into this superhuman being. And Unbreakable, of course, starred Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis, and it was about Samuel L. Jackson being Mr. Glass. His bones are breakable, easily breakable, and Bruce Willis was like the security guard. He was super strong and whatnot. And now Mr. Glass and Mr. Security and the Beast, they've all come together in this new movie coming out in 2019 called Glass. And you get to see all of them in the room together in the trailer, and Sarah Paulson is in it, and here she goes in another asylum. Hopefully she doesn't become a patient like she was in the last asylum that she was in. if you know what I'm talking about. And some of you do. But anyways, I want to say welcome home, Jean Grey and Cyclops and Wolverine and Professor Xavier and Jubilee. Because the X-Men and the Fantastic Four were just brought back home to Marvel by Disney for a whopping $71.3 billion. They beat out Comcast who tried to swoop in and steal them for their own evil purposes. But nope. Thank you, Mr. Bob Iger, for bringing our favorite characters back home to Marvel Studios. Now we can see them in the future MCU movies, hopefully. But how do you guys want them to be introduced? How do you want Deadpool and the X-Men and Susan Storm and Reed Richards and all of them to be introduced into the MCU? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I love this stuff. It's like watermelon in a bottle. See? Very, very good. Ingredients. Watermelon flesh, watermelon brine, and organic lemon. And that's it. So get yourself a bottle after this show is over, of course. So right now, it is time for the clip of the week. Now, in this week's clip of the week, I want to show you the top 10 picks, someone else's top 10 picks for the best costumes at Comic-Con. So, without further ado, roll it. So good. Crazy, right? I still don't know how Hawkman got like #1. I mean, the costume was great, but Ursula was the best. She was really, really good. Who's your favorite pick? And did any of you guys go to Comic-Con this year? I almost went, but stuff happened, stuff came up, so I'm gonna go to this year's LA Comic-Con, Stan Lee's Comic-Con, down at the Los Angeles Convention Center in October. Can't wait. Hope to see some of you guys there. So in the meantime, in between time, fly high and fly free. Be you and be kind to everyone, and mostly everyone in the universe will be kind to you. I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram and fly with me on Twitter at creative_Kloss. And you can also go to creativekloss.com to find out more about me and check out some of my other projects. This video is a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but there was so much to catch up on. I was gone for a month. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it and that you stuck it out. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And ring that bell too so that you can get notified whenever I post a new video, okay? Now, I love you for watching. Look at the Infinity Glove. I think I'll hold it right now. I promise not to snap my fingers. Now, I love you guys for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me in any kind of way. And you can check out another video from me right now. And I'm gonna go sit underneath the fan. So, zoom, zap, bam!